Greeting, Mr. President. My name is Sohrab ChamanAra, and I am an Iranian American with an idea that I want to present it to you. Of course, this idea is not a new one. I have been sending messages and books to different administration and presidents since President Obama. And I have been in touch with my senator, Illinois senator, and I have expressed this idea several times, and I have made a website, iranianamerican.info, which all these messages has been archived there. Nevertheless, today I would like to talk to you about my latest book, which I would like to present it to you. The story started actually writing book about this idea since 2014, when ISIS started in the Middle East. And I wrote this book, 2020, The Fall of Islamic States. And at that time, I predicted in 2020, the ISIS will be defeated. And of course, there was one wrong prediction that I predicted that Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will be the president at that time. Anyway, this book had a good reviews actually, except that prediction and things that is written in the last chapters. In 2018, again when President Trump was the president and Mr. Pompeo made a speech in the President Reagan Library in Los Angeles, that he clearly said that we don't want the change of regime, we want the change of behavior. It made me to make that book a new book, 2020, The Fall of Ayatollahs Constitution. And in this book, I went along what Secretary Pompeo suggested, that he wants to change the behavior of the regime rather than change of regime. And I have said in this book, if you want to change the behavior, you have to change the constitution. Because whatever the Ayatollahs regime does is according to their constitution. This has been something which I have been saying, and people in Iran has been saying since 44 years ago. As a matter of fact, it happens first time in 1979, in summer of 1979, when they were writing Iranian Islamic Constitution. And the first protest against this constitution started in Kurdistan, which resulted in the massacre, which is done by Ayatollah Khalkhali. Of course, you remember all of those incidents. However, after the invasion of Ukraine, as Mr. Henry Kissinger said, we are living in a new world and nothing can be predicted. I wrote this book, which has been published in September this year, 2022, with one difference to the book which I have introduced you in chapter 5 and 6, the last two chapters. The rest of the book is the same, because all those beginning chapters are about the history, how Middle East became as it is today. But chapter 5 started with a new era, which concluded at the end, the solution is change of constitution. This is something which we have been trying to express or send the messages to the American administration. Well, I would like to read a few lines from this book, how the beginning of the book starts with this word. I have written, perhaps if the children are brought up with the religious tolerance and thought that the common ground of all religions is to make them a better people, the world could be more peaceful. And then on those chapters at page 80, I have put this picture, which I definitely know that you remember. This is a Pulitzer-winning picture of the massacre of Kurdistan, which one of those people, I think, among these shooters is President Ahmadinejad. Of course, why I say that with this certainty is because there are lots of pictures of Ahmadinejad, President Ahmadinejad of Iran, with Ayatollah Khalkhali during this massacre. And then I would like to read a few lines of this from chapter 5, because the essence of this book is this chapter 5 and 6. I have written here, in June 2014, an event occurred in the Middle East which surprised many people unfamiliar with Islam and the Middle East: the birth of Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, which in Arabic and Persian we call it Daesh, and it's abbreviated by ISIS. A month later, they changed their name to Islamic State, IS. They claim to want to kill all Shia, rape their women, and have a pure Islamic race in the future. The phenomenon of ISIS have shocked many, but its existence is neither new nor surprising. It's a story that goes back 14 centuries and has been duplicated many times throughout history. The first time it happens and succeeded was in Medina in 7th century. The wind of history disperses the seed of this rotten tree all over the globe. Whenever the environment is right, then a special interest nourishes and supports them, and in no time, a new plant very similar to one that arose in the 7th century grows with the same DNA and appearance. Today, I know that you have many things on your plate, Mr. President. Internally, we have interest rate, inflation, job, and many others that is your primary concern. I appreciate that as an American. And in the overseas, we have Ukraine, which will be your concern, as your speech in the United Nations was, half of it was about Ukraine. And then above that, we have China, Taiwan, Middle East, let alone Africa and the other rest of the world. There are all these trouble spots. But for us as an American, Iranian American, I would say, our concern is Iran, and because we left our heart in Iran. And we have been suggesting this to you, to the administration, American administration, several times since the beginning, that we started giving our opinion. It's a change of constitution. This change of constitution, as I said, started 44 years ago, the protest against the constitution, and it has been there. And 11 years ago, it started when Ayatollah Khamenei declared Ahmadinejad as the president, and the biggest demonstration we remember was about 11 years, 12 years ago, which we used to call it Green Movement. And that was really the seed of all these constitution narrative. Then it went on and on after lots of demonstration until June of 2019, when 14 people made a manifestation for the change of constitution. Their pictures are behind, at the back of this book. And since then, nothing, perhaps, of course, I wouldn't say you haven't heard about this, but no sympathy with this movement has been shown from the American administration because of two groups and two cults that are dominating all the media and connections with the administration. One of them are these, what we call them, Mujahideen or MKO, who are in Albania. They're not my concern very much because these people are well known and they themselves, they know that they will never return to Iran. And they are now those people who are retired and they are 60, 70 years old. They are all in Albania and they are old. And the medal that they have on their chest is the first killing of American 50 years ago in Iran. And after that, they allied with the Saddam Hussein, and they were in Iraq until a few years ago, as you remember, and then with your help and Saudi Arabia and Albanian government, they are doing the retirement ages in Albania. But the sad part of this is this, that Senator Menendez keeps them alive by interviewing them in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and all the big names like Giuliani, senators, John Bolton, they go to their halls and make speeches that you are with the support of United States, and next year will be in Iran, and all of these things. But they are the most hated group in Iran, actually. It's just like the feeling of American have towards bin Laden is the same feeling that Iranian have toward these people, because they have committed so many things like bin Laden has done in United States. And now they're not my concern or any Iranian concern, because let them leave and whatever they want to say, they're free to say so. But another cult is Reza Pahlavi, the son of late Shah, who came to United States, as you remember, when he was only 17 years old with $150 million cash money in his pocket, plus $150 million perhaps real estate and castles here or there, plus, as they say and claim in many of the media, with some saving of $60 billion in Switzerland. This man has followers in the United States, which I numbered them maybe 2,000, 3,000, very, very solid people whom even the Shah, late Shah, with his interview with David Frost, said before him, 1.5 million Iranian left Iran, the rich people, and their wealth today is maybe $1,000 billion. So these are the people. Of course, their number are not millions, but those rich people, maybe a few thousand, who are supporter of Reza Pahlavi. And his job is just to divert any movement in Iran for change of constitution. Because a new parliamentary constitution is the only solution for the future of Iran and the Middle East and perhaps in the whole world. If you look at anything happening anywhere in the world as far as terrorism concerned, somehow will be related to Iran, to this regime, to Ayatollah's regime. In the Ayatollah's regime, as I have put few articles of the Ayatollah's constitution at the back of this book as appendix, it says clearly in the constitution that we wrote this constitution simply to fight with America. Not in this plain language, but in the very clever writing. And it says the Iranian army does not belong to the Iranian people. It belongs, an article of the Constitution, it belongs to the deprived people of the world. Therefore, if you object to Iranian regime, why are you in Yemen? Why are you interfering with the Palestinian? Why are you interfering in Africa, in Venezuela, in anywhere that you are concerned? It's because it's written in the Constitution. Therefore, it's a great tool for you to object to the Constitution, not the behavior, and put sanction to the people of Iran. In here, what we have suggested, that you have to make sanction a smart sanction. That means to all those thieves who have stolen with the help of Ayatollahs to bring their asset abroad. And these people are a sleeping cell of the future terrorism. You have to put the sanction on these people, not the Iranian people. And if you do so, if United States put a smart sanction on Iran and remove the sanction which is already there, you will bring Iran into the stage that the change of constitution will happen automatically as it's explained in this book. That's all I want to say to introduce this book. And if somebody asks me, what the hell are you talking about? I say, okay, go and read this book. Everything is there. And also imagine the fall of Ayatollahs. Thank you, Mr. President. And God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the people of the world, that they live in peace and prosperity. Thank you.